I ever told you my theory that my grandma mispronounces stuff on purpose?
No.
Like, I have this theory. So, like, when Angry Birds came out, she just assumed I was into that because everyone was.
Yeah.
I was not into Angry Birds. I love you, Grandma, if you watch this, Mimi. And she got me some pajamas for, like, Christmas. She's like, I got you some of the Mad Bird pajamas.
Mad Bird.
I'm like, Mad Birds? I'm like,
The only way that's better is if they were off-brand.
Yeah.
Angry Birds, like
Mad
actually
Birds.
Mad Birds.
And, like, Bass Pro Shops, dude, she wouldn't call it Bass Pro. She'd be like, yeah, we're going to that Bassin Pro of them broken hair. Like, just everything she says. And so I have a theory. I literally have a theory that she legitimately does it on purpose.
That's life goals,
Just
man.
to let people know, that's not my thing, it's your thing.
Legit, that's life goals.
Yeah. Pokemans. Like, you playing the Pokemans? Like, because I don't like Pokemon.
Welcome everyone to The Room Upstairs, the podcast where we take an original movie and its remake and battle them against each other. I'm here today with my co-host.
What's up, I'm Bird?
Hayden, sorry.
Mephisjoe.
And I'm the TallBeing here doing the intro because I am our Karate Kid.
Which, by the way, we are battling. Oh, you said that we're battling Karate Kid. Yeah. 1984 versus 2010.
Which is a remake.
What are we battling?
One of our first episodes. Now that we have a full council here,
You got
he's back. He's back.
Yeah.
We'll see.
For how long? It depends on how mad
He
we
made
make him.
bail or something.
I just go, ah, and then you guys like fade me out.
Like, no, Street Fighter, like, where it's like,
Yeah.
All right,
Took
well,
psychic damage.
yeah, we're going to be battling the Karate Kid. Make sure to follow us on the socials and like if you're watching us on YouTube. Whatever social you're on, look us up, The Room Upstairs Podcast. If we're there, follow us. If we're not there, then we're not on that.
yeah, why are you on that?
They
social
create a
media?
fake page and pretend to be us.
Well, before we get into our battle,
Conan update?
no Conan update.
No Conan update.
So we're going to just breeze right on through that.
He's still just in
That
our
was
hearts.
easy.
That's it.
Yeah, we were waiting on King Conan movie. No news on that yet. All right. So we got our socials. We got our names.
Yeah.
We got our battle.
This feels a little too easy. We always get sidetracked. What's going on right now?
Joe, do you have something to throw in?
We're waiting for the main. We're waiting for the main event to get sidetracked. So
I got
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into the Karate Kid battle.
timing is important.
Of course.
Okay. So Tale of the Tape, Karate Kid, 1984. It's a 2-hour, 6-minute movie, rated PG, directed by John G. Avildsen. Music by the great Bill Conti. And it stars, of course, Ralph Macchio, who reprises his role in Cobra Kai and the new Karate Kid movie. Pat Morita, William Zabka, Martin Kove, and everybody's crush in the 80s, Elizabeth Shue. So going up against Karate Kid 2010, a little bit longer at 2 hours and 20 minutes, also rated PG. This one was directed by Harold Zwart. Do you know him? Yeah, he's done a couple that you'll probably recognize. Music was done by James Horner in this movie, and this one stars Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan, Zhenwei Wang as the antagonist, Rong Wang Yu,
Yeah, we don't have to say that.
and Wen Wen Hu as the love interest.
It's lies. It's all lies. This is not the Karate Kid. It's Kung Fu Kid.
That's true.
So
They even admit it in the movie.
The whole
which I
movie.
don't remember.
The whole movie, they keep talking about Kung Fu. Kung Fu. Nobody ever mentions karate. They don't call him Karate Kid.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the biggest gripe, of course, of the 2010 version.
I
is
blame
that
Will
it's not
Smith.
karate. From the very beginning, when it was announced in 2010, the Karate Kid with Jackie Chan, everyone was like, "But it's kung fu," and they were like, "Yeah, so what?"
Well, I never really heard that argument.
No?
People didn't like it for dumb reasons.
Well, that was one of them.
Listen,
When,
normally I don't do this, right? But I actually watched it this time.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, I hate this. I hate all of it, right? And so I was like, maybe it wasn't that bad. And I rewatched it. And overall, it was not as bad as I remembered, right? Maybe I was just prejudiced because of how much I love Karate Kid. But as I was watching it, rewatching it rather,
Yeah.
I was just like, Kung Fu?
yeah.
You keep mentioning Kung Fu?
You couldn't get past that.
No, I was like,
Well,
It's very distracting.
if it's in your title, it's not a little thing to get past. I mean, I'm kind of with Joe.
I would have been happy if it was Karate Kid, colon,
Kung Fu
Kid.
Yeah, like Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
It reveals at the end.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh,
yeah,
That would have been hilarious.
we did it first.
And they just announced, here's your new Kung Fu Kid. And he's just like all confused too. And in the end, it's like.
So, you brought up the movie earlier that is also along the lines of Karate Kid, Jiu-Jitsu. If anybody has seen the Nicolas Cage movie, go watch it if you haven't seen it.
I think you're
Nicolas
pronouncing it
Cage, and it's called Jiu-Jitsu. Nothing to do with Jiu-Jitsu. But it's got Nicolas Cage in it, so check it out.
So I have to ask a question then. So if this movie realistically should have been called Kung Fu Kid,
Yeah.
and
Is
the
it
new
still a
one
remake?
in which Ralph Macchio is no longer a kid, also has Jackie Chan, who is training another student who is the kid. What is he learning? And therefore, should this not be Kung Fu Kid 2?
Well, the trailer kind of hints that he's going to have a hybrid fighting style in both. Like in the trailer, it talks about they're going to learn karate.
The thing is,
All right, we kind of saw with Cobra Kai how they'll learn
Yeah.
defensive stuff here.
But that was
And then
both
aggressive.
karate.
Right. That's the same vibe I got from the trailer when he says you're going to train with Daniel and implement some karate.
Sensei
into
Lawrence
your
is going to teach you
fighting.
Eagle Fang.
I mean, we can pause and watch the trailer, and then we can be like, Joe, see, and then we can move on.
My name is Joe, not Josie.
okay, but realistically speaking, is that allowed? Like, if you enter a karate tournament, are you allowed to bring in other fighting styles? Or
I know.
is that an immediate, like...
Well, I don't know if it's
Just
a
roll
karate
in,
tournament.
doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, sit on the ground.
Yeah.
It might just be a martial arts
Yeah,
tournament.
because like in MMA, you can implement anything.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't know what the tournament's going to be. And there has to be a tournament.
In reference to Legends, right? That's what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I will
Yeah.
say if there's not a tournament in that movie, that's weird.
There is a tournament. Actually, they announced it's going to be the Kumite.
Yeah, it's actually Bloodsport 2.
Dude, I love
Blood-
Bloodsport.
Hey,
Bloodsport 2?
2 episodes in a row?
That's the Thunderbolts 2? Bloodsport 2? Oh!
Like the reveal at the end of Split.
Yeah.
Is that Unbreakable?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he gets a third teacher.
Yeah,
and
Van
it's-
Damme.
Yeah. I'm going to teach you how to do splits. And then we're going to, and it's just like, oh, yeah.
He just like runs in blind, touching his bloody eyes sockets.
Frank dude.
Super hype for Legends now.
Okay, and if anybody didn't know, there is a new Karate Kid movie, which is why we wanted to battle out Karate Kid this month.
Yeah.
In honor of the new movie that's coming out.
Came out.
It came out. By the time the episode
Oh,
releases, it will be out. Yeah.
Came out.
But not
By
now.
the time this comes out, it's been out for weeks.
And you guys are loving it. You're talking
Dominating.
about it on all the meets. And I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You can
It's
cut
gonna
that.
age so...
If it sucks, here, I'll do a second one for if it did bad. And we didn't know they were going to do that. All right? We didn't know they were going to put that in. Right? And we're sorry to the conservative families that saw that.
That Will Smith cameo, right?
Yeah. We didn't know
When he comes
Jaden was going to come back as the bad guy.
Yeah. How about Hillary Swank
That would be
coming back?
Yeah,
With,
who
with
would've
the
thought?
secret love child.
Bunch of- just all those theories, just edit those in. If you need them.
We were right all along.
This is the chaos I missed from the last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, there you go. We got it back.
It's
Yeah.
back.
And then Miguel, he had to fight Miguel.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Miguel would have been the new bad guy?
And then Miguel broke his back.
Yeah.
Amazing. It was amazing.
Bane.
We probably haven't even watched it yet.
Probably not.
That's true. We'll watch it after the end of the month. So we got to go watch it because we were all free.
I will have watched it a year after this releases.
Yeah.
And we're doing a different Karate Kid.
That's probably true.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
We're gonna battle the
M.A.
two Legends movies like by the time Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, so my thoughts
cut all
on the
that.
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I grew up with the 80s Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Love the movies. I'm wearing my California shirt, my LA hat, representing the San Fernando Valley because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Those are the only hats you wear.
Yeah.
Unless you're at work.
Because I'm
Every article of clothing I think you own
He's acting like he wore
says
for
California
This is
or
only
something.
that. Yeah. He's like, I did it for the podcast.
I'm
Like,
representing.
God, they can see the
It's-
thumbnails on all the other ones.
It's a way of life, man.
Hey.
You know. Well, anyway, that's my I love Karate Kid. So
Oh, you want me to go?
yeah, go ahead.
I should go last, I think.
You're wearing the shirt.
I know, but I should go.
Okay, you go last.
Joe.
So he already went.
Oh yeah, I love Karate Kid.
Okay.
I don't love Kung Fu Kid.
Good.
So I like the movie a lot, the original one. I was very excited to go back and rewatch these because it's been a while, especially the first one.
You seen 2 and 3?
I've seen 2 and 3.
Okay.
I'm a 3 believer. I like 3. 2's all right. I know I'm one of the very few people who thinks that.
Like a little piece of me was like hoping you were gonna be like, I mean, it's Swank all the way for me.
No, absolutely not.
You didn't even watch that whole
The
movie.
Karate Kid.
I've seen the whole thing.
You did watch the whole thing?
I've seen the whole thing. It's not good.
Yeah. So, but that's how much I like. I watched all of them.
Yeah.
I watched the new Karate Kid when it came out, and I'm looking forward to Legends. I just, Karate Kid. I'm in.
Yeah, and Cobra Kai obviously was great.
Was phenomenal.
We loved it. We love that show.
Yeah.
This is kind of getting into the movies themselves, but I think that Karate Kid 1 is one of the closest we've gotten to making a perfect movie.
Oh.
Is my personal take.
Okay. All right.
I don't think
We'll
it's,
get it. We'll
I don't think
explore
it's flawless,
We'll
but I think it's
explore that.
very close.
Better Kung Fu Kid.
Have you seen Legally Blonde?
To be fair, it's been a while.
Like that's your example.
It's a pretty good movie, man.
Yeah. Okay, so your thoughts now.
Agent Cody Banks.
The reason I wanted to go last, I honestly did not care about Karate Kid at all growing up.
Okay.
And honestly, I didn't care about it at all till the Cobra Kai hype. And
That's because I feel like you were more of a like shoot 'em up, like Die Hard, Stallone, like some of those guys.
Yeah. Was it Tango and Cash?
Tango and Cash.
I
yeah.
love Tango and Cash.
You a Tango fan or a Cash fan?
Listen, I got a soft spot for Kurt Russell.
So,
anything.
same, yeah.
So it's like,
The guy's hilarious.
yeah, I love Kurt Russell. But that's a whole.
So does Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Have you heard that interview he did with his son?
Yeah. All right, but it's weird. I didn't really care for Cobra Kai. It's almost like that story didn't resonate with me. But then the story of Cobra Kai with Johnny Lawrence, like whole character and like the redemption and the fact that there was two sides to that story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like that's when I really dived in. Like I love Cobra Kai.
So when was the first time you watched Karate Kid? The
dude, I was probably like real little.
Okay, so you watched it.
It was definitely a movie that my mom was like, "Hey, I'm going to show you a movie, old school movie," because my mom was always notorious for that. Mm-hmm. If it was an action movie,
Trish, you're real G.
Yeah, if it was an action movie, an old action movie, my dad would show it to me. If it was just an older '80s movie, my mom would show it to me. And so it's definitely a watch my mom shared, and I don't know, it was cool, right? But it just didn't resonate with me,
I got you.
Like the stuff that I was really into when I was like a kid, it wasn't this,
Yeah. So this is what I like about having all of us, right? Like us two normally are pretty like similar with what we like. You also dive into the weirder stuff that I haven't seen.
The Joe stuff.
Not that it's bad, but we got
Midnight Madnesses.
We got the Joe picks for a reason.
Hey,
right?
Midnight Madness is a wonderful movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying though. But it's not anything I would have ever like. I'm gonna watch Midnight Madness, but it was a good movie.
Yeah, I feel so bad I didn't watch that movie until after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie, that was a big egg on my face moment. That movie was actually really good.
Yeah, but you were born in the 90s, right?
I believe so.
So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, hopefully you know.
Listen, I don't even have a birth certificate.
So like that, you've got a different
I have
you, and then of course you are 12.
All 80s.
I'm
movies,
the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Right.
All 80s movies were like either shared to me by my mom, Joe, or my dad.
Yeah, honestly, I kicked
way
him with
after
you.
the fact.
Yeah.
The hard part for like the watching the 80s movies for me always is like, because I don't remember everything, right? Like when you're younger, you're just like, oh, that was amazing. You like remember all the amazing parts. So sometimes when I like want to like recommend something, I can be like, wait, let me see how much full frontal nudity is. Right? Roadhouse.
Yeah. That was my bad.
Yeah. Listen, when you watch an edited version on like TNT or TBS, so then you're like, you really talk it up with someone, and then like well, borrow my DVD, and then they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's like,
what have I done?
So you gotta be careful. But yeah, so with Cobra Kai, I went back to watch The Karate Kid, and like I definitely don't hate it. It just wasn't one of those things, that I really connected with. So this was a fun battle for me because I really could just watch both of them objectively, and be not biased about any of them, and so it's cool.
There we go.
But I love Cobra Kai.
I like it. Okay, so you've got categories for us.
Got categories.
So
Categories, if you will.
we're gonna go through the categories, talk about it, give points to each movie, and then we'll declare the winner.
Just one movie.
Or yeah.
Sometimes we can be one-sided.
Sometimes none of them get points.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's get to it.
All right. First off, simple. Our protagonists: Will Smith Jr. and Daniel LaRusso.
Dude, that
you had to frame it like that.
Well, the funny part is, like, legitimately, aside from my cousin Vinny, like, anytime I see Ralph Macchio, he's just
the Karate Kid.
Not even a Karate Kid, like Daniel LaRusso, like,
okay,
right. And so for me, it's real easy. Like Daniel LaRusso, Will Smith Jr. was real annoying. I kept trying to give him a shot, right? Because I was like, maybe I just misremembered, right? Maybe I was like so, like brought in all of my like past love of Karate Kid, my nostalgia, and that wouldn't let me like this movie. But no, he's just legitimately like, if he's not just dead faced, he's so whiny.
So I didn't want to go next, but since you said it, I'm going to go next. I think just from an unbiased position, I don't think it is biased. They made him really young compared to Daniel. And so he comes off as whiny because he's a kid, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it could have been karate toddler on a borderline. Like, and so I'm not going to say it was bad acting or bad. It's just they chose to make it a very young kid.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's rough. Some of the stuff that happened to him, he has to go to a whole nother country. He's, prejudiced, like in China. Like, this is crazy, dude. Like, but he was
the first person he meets is that albino kid.
Yeah, but he's so young.
White boy.
He's so young, and I thought it was a weird choice.
I did too.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm definitely going Daniel. I always flubber the last name. LaRusso. Yeah, LaRusso.
It's because you want to call him what that one kid did in Cobra Kai.
No, but yeah. So I'm going Danny as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a weird choice to have him young like that too, especially the way that they were fighting. Like, there should have been caved-in chests and broken ribs. It's just weird
watching that young of kids beat the crap out of each other. I just don't find it entertaining.
For me to make them that young and then be like, gotta have a love story.
Yeah,
that too.
That was so awkward.
It was weird. As a girl dad, because like Piper's 9, I was like, nah, man. Like, no.
Yeah. But at the oldest, Dre Parker was his name. He had to have been 12, right? Sure. Like that. He wasn't even a teen, I don't think.
I'm pretty sure they say he's 12 at one point.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, he had to be at the oldest. So yeah, it was very weird to have him, that young. Weird choice, not his fault, but that's what they went with.
Yeah, it was Will Smith's fault.
I mean,
nepotism, bro. Like,
well, he was one of the producers for the movie.
Yeah, he wanted to make his son a star.
I'm sure,
and the world is worse for it.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I will.
Again, what'd you say about you're happy all of us bring something to the table?
Right.
That's what Joe's bringing.
Hey, look, I say the things nobody else is brave enough to
say. So my vote is Daniel LaRusso, but I don't just think of him as Daniel LaRusso. I also think of him as Johnny. Do it for Johnny, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm an Outsiders fan.
And Vinny's cousin.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, that'll be like third.
Third?
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's a hard 2 for me.
No. Outsiders and Danny and then Vinny's cousin. What's his name?
Who? Vinny's cousin.
Exactly.
He's the my in My Cousin Vinny.
My.
Yeah, I just thought
strong point.
I just assumed he was Asian. His name is Mai.
Oh, gosh. All right, so my vote's Daniel LaRusso.
Nice.
Daniel LaRusso.
You said Daniel LaRusso. Yeah. So I agree with all of that you guys just said. On it's weird to age him down.
Yeah.
Like it is real weird seeing him fight. Like why?
I'm sure we're gonna get there, but the Johnny Lawrence kid in the new one, that fool be kicking hard. Like there's no way
That's what I'm saying.
Like he's flying across
I'm pretty sure he's 25. You know what I'm saying? Every time he kicked him, I was like, "Ooh, man!"
Could you imagine auditioning for that? All right, you're gonna beat up a 12-year-old. What? Well, you're gonna be a 12-year-old too. What?
Don't worry about it.
People can't tell ages with ages.
But Ralph Macchio did it. Right? Well, I guess it was reversed for him, right?
Yeah, he was old.
Yeah,
You're gonna get beat up by some 12-year-olds. Cool.
Yeah, but Billy Zabka though is one of those guys that would have been like, no, honestly, hit me as hard as you can. Like,
Yeah, I'll let you beat me
you
up.
think Jaden Smith is like, yeah, do it. Come on, do it.
Hit me!
My dad would do it. Do it. So your dad would slap someone. Yeah.
There's no proof of that.
There's no proof.
Oh wait. Oh wait.
That's the call, though.
Woo!
All right. So that's a sweep.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
That was sweep the leg.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Sweep
sweep-
the leg.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah.
No, you can't just say sweet because he goes sweep the leg, Johnny. Like, that's
Put
my
him in a
favorite.
body bag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the way they say Johnny is
they're
like
always like,
Dude, I
Literally
love
That's his
the
squad.
background character.
literally all the Cobra Kai guys could be Power
Hey,
Rangers.
listen,
And I love it.
how messed up would it have been in the episode of Cobra Kai when those guys came back? If like when they went to his funeral, like the dude was like, put him in a body bag. Like real somber.
Like instead of a coffin, no, just use the bag. He was a fan of bags.
He'd understand that
He
reference.
would you guys are all mad at me, but he would have loved that if he was around.
I'm a pastor.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I don't know. Next category.
Give it a second.
He's crying. Woo.
I'm trying to hang on. Just do a close up of me doing this. Like, we'll be back.
One tear.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. The rainbow.
Please stand by.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah, so
first category is won by the Karate Kid, the original.
The Karate Kid. The fact that you said it like that, it's like I already know how this episode's
I mean, the other one
Okay,
is
look,
karate. Isn't a karate.
Oh,
Kid.
he's Kung Fu Kid.
Look,
All right.
I'm gonna disclaimer also because this is a reboot. You and I did this battle already as our second episode or something like that. So it is a reboot. So if anybody's been following along from the beginning, you know where I stand on these movies.
I got you.
Actually, where both of us stand on these movies.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just you
'cause
two that are bringing the newness here.
Because I want to get in real quick. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
I feel like we did just all hate on Will Smith Jr. I can't even remember his name. I'm very sorry.
Jaden.
Jaden. But I want to give some praise to Ralph Macchio because
Yeah, time out. Because we voted for him because
it
we
kind
were
of felt like we were
against it.
against.
So, yeah, go ahead.
But also, I am extremely for Daniel LaRusso. Like,
Yes.
something I didn't remember watching this movie was just how well fleshed out his character was. Like, I feel like you get all these angles of his personality in every scene that he's in.
Yeah.
So you get a really good sense of who he is. Like, yeah, he's a good guy, but the movie isn't scared to make him very, very flawed. He's got anger issues. He's got, like,
anxiety.
anxiety. He's real weird with the girl.
Yeah, like the hose scene, you know? Like,
Yeah.
they had left him alone and he had antagonized him. Like, yeah, he was a more believable high schooler, I feel like. Where Jaden, you just felt bad for him, you know? And I don't know that's really his fault. It could be just writing too.
Yeah, like you got one note, kid, and it is wine.
But I agree with you. Like, that's a fun character to where he's not just one dimensional.
Yeah, I wanted to watch him the entire
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, and that's really the main. Like I think we need to focus on that, on like what makes the characters
That we
good.
did vote for.
Yeah.
They're more than one dimension.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're not a toddler.
And they're not a toddler. Because you hate toddlers.
Well,
We
no,
get
it's
it.
just
Asians and toddlers. Gotcha.
Oh yeah. Me.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Antagonist. So I'm gonna go with Johnny Lawrence here, 'cause I feel like he's the most directly antagonistic character in the original, and I can't remember the other two. Chang. In
So this is a pretty close one. They were both. I mean, Johnny Lawrence is the better one.
Yeah, close as in like they're the same character,
right?
Sure,
right.
But
I think he means close as like they both did their job to like antagonize.
Right. Yeah.
But they're two very different characters. I feel like.
But overall, Johnny was more fleshed out. Like you saw more of a reason why he was bullying, I guess.
Yeah, he felt threatened. This is his turf.
Yeah.
He's been top dog.
And
that's a problem.
And you go into the whole story of Cobra Kai, right?
Yeah,
Strike first, no mercy. So you see, like he's doing that.
I mean, yeah.
When they're in their skeleton suits, right? And he's like, "Yeah, remember, no mercy." And then they're like, "Leave him alone. He's had enough, Johnny."
Chang,
he's like, "No."
Chang just came off as a racist.
I mean, he was, yeah.
I mean, honestly,
because he's like, "Stay away from us."
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
And again, that makes it one-dimensional. He's one thing.
Yeah.
Like, and so.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Johnny for sure. But I'm going to give Chang props because that
he can fight.
He could do some kicks, man, and jump over walls. Like when they were doing the chase scene, and he was like doing that like bounce off of tables thing. Yeah, like jump. I was like, that dude is not 12 years old. Like, and if he is, he's been training since like he was old enough to like stand up. Like, and
well, they did use.
They probably have an infant league. Like if these little kids are fighting,
they use ropes and stuff on some of that stuff.
Well, I imagine that he, like Jackie Chan before him, like probably was one of those ones who like was part of a troupe or something and has been training his whole life to do this. And if you look, like he's done stunt work and stuff since then. Like, and so this is clearly always what he was going to do. And it's really hard for me because I liked him, and like every time he was on screen, I was like, oh yeah, no, I actually like watching him beat up. Let's face right, like. But if we're going with
he condones racism.
I didn't say I agreed with what he said. I agreed with his actions.
You understood
his actions.
Oh, yes, exactly. But yeah, Johnny Lawrence is so good and like so memorable. Like he's the reason we have Cobra Kai, like as a show. You know, like if he wasn't that good, then that show wouldn't exist. And I don't think we're gonna a Chang version of that. You know?
Yeah. He might show up in Legends.
Yeah, I can't even tell you what their team name was. It definitely wasn't Cobra Kai.
The Fighting Dragons.
And there were a lot of them.
Yeah, there's not going to be a Fighting Dragon series, dude.
Yeah, but can Chang take on Johnny Lawrence?
Heck no.
But that's one of the things that make this movie so less.
Dude, did you see how hard he kicked?
He did kick real hard.
There was dust flying everywhere, like off of his shirt. Why does he's kicking dust off of Jaden's shirt?
And he's 12. And yeah, he can beat up a 12-year-old Jaden. But Johnny Lawrence,
this is 12-year-old Jaden.
That's what makes this. That's what makes it so less memorable, right?
Dude, he would put the kid in a body bag.
Like, unless you had recently watched it, would you remember that they were the Fighting Dragons?
No,
right?
Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all so forgetable.
They were just,
and there's reasons for that. I'm sure we'll get into that later.
They were just the racists, the fighting racists.
Did you vote?
Dude, you know my vote, dude. I like Johnny more than I like Danny. Like, bro, I'm borderline Neil Patrick Harris from How I Met Your Mother. Like, I love Johnny Lawrence.
Uh-huh.
And so Cobra Kai, I like Cobra Kai more than Karate Kid, like, which is weird. That's why I wanted to go last when we were doing nostalgia.
Yeah.
But dude, Johnny Lawrence. Like, I mean, Chang can fight, cool, but like Johnny Lawrence, we already talked about his character development. How even before they did the spin-off stuff, you could kind of already see there. You know, even when he like hands the trophy to him, all that, like it's great. And yeah, they recreate that with Chang, but they recreate it. You know, like
because it worked in the original.
Yeah, like
we'll get to that.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's coming.
So obviously Johnny Lawrence, dude. Like I love what Billy Zach.
Yeah. You?
So.
Yeah.
Chang, he's going Chang.
Chang.
Yeah, you can tell he's going Chang.
Chang the Conqueror.
Chang the
Conqueror. Yeah, I like Johnny Lawrence. He's a good antagonist. I don't really have any notes that you guys haven't said. Like he's good. I feel like he was fleshed out, same as Danny was.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a very good person for the most part, which works.
And he cuts a heck of a profile as a skeleton.
That's true.
Well, that's the thing is, he's not a good person to like the people around him, right? But
to his gang.
Well, yeah,
to his boys,
but also to his to like the adults, right? Because when they're in the country club, and they're like, "Oh, where's that young man, Johnny? You know, where's he at?" With
and that gives him some more depth that we just never.
That's what I'm getting at.
Like even in public, Chang is very like, I'm evil. I'm racist.
He fights the teacher and stuff. You know, like. I mean, when he shows up to save Jaden, they're just like, all right, let's just fight this dude. Yeah. Like, it's just crazy, man. Yeah. He's a bad dude.
I think he could take Johnny.
You're a liar.
Give Chang a couple more years.
Yeah. I mean, he's 12 and he's already at that level. He could take Prime Chang versus Prime Johnny.
Then definitely no. Yeah.
Dude, I think vote on that one.
Yeah.
Chang versus Johnny.
Correct, Bird. If you don't mind.
All right.
All right, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Next category. Better mentor.
Okay, so Pat Morita and
Emmy nominee.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan.
Miyagi, Han. Go.
Mr. Han. Who wants to go first on this one?
You go first. I feel like you keep going last. Oh. And we say all the good stuff before you can even talk.
So everything I said about the last two characters, I think applies to Mr. Miyagi also.
Okay.
He is a much more well fleshed out character, I think, than Han. And I think Han is the most fleshed out of every character in 2010. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give him some credit there. It's Jackie Chan. He's an amazing actor. He sells having a dead wife and kid in that car scene. But like when that's the one good part of the movie, and everything else, I see a lot of where Jaden is coming from in the just annoyed with Mr. Han the entire time. Mm-hmm. Like he's not. At least Mr. Miyagi had some. Maybe it was just the performance or the way it was written. I can't really put my finger on what it is, but something about how when he's like, "I'm going to teach you karate," and then just has him do chores. Like it still feels like he's doing something. Like there's still a connection there between him and Daniel. Because Daniel's still like into it, I guess. There's none of that between Dre and Han, which I think hurts a lot of Han's character. And he just plays him as this like really tired, depressed guy, which I think could have worked. I really like that concept for a mentor character. But
can I interject here?
Yeah.
Because I have some thoughts as well. Like first off, both of them are acting the heck out of those roles.
Yes.
Right? Because like Jackie Chan, this is like way not like who we know Jackie Chan to be, right?
Yeah. It's not a police story.
Yeah, he's legitimately acting.
Yeah.
But if you've ever seen Happy Days, you know Pat Morita is acting too, right? But one of the things I think is hard to express, and I think that the reason it seems like the original one does it so much better is because Daniel LaRusso is a more fleshed out character, and maybe it's just like a time period thing. Like he's more respectful of people anyway, right? And I think that's part of why Jaden Smith comes off as so whiny, right? Like. It's a different generation. Like first thing he does when he walks in a new place is drop his jacket and put on SpongeBob, right? Like, and so the one of the conflicts that they're having is clearly a cultural one, which is not going to be easy for us to pick up on because we're not Chinese, right? And he even complains about it at the beginning of the movie. And I think they're trying to set that up. They're just not doing a good job of it. When he's like, everything is old, right? Everything is old. They're more traditional, like. So Mr. Han is like a representation of all of that in the human form. And if you like look at that subtext, I think it redefines some of the thing, like the ways that he interacts. It's like when he doesn't respond or when he's just quiet, like that's because culturally, like that's more in line with where he's coming from, the traditions that he's trying to pass on or teach. And it's a lot different in the original Karate Kid because, for all intents and purposes, it's as Americanized as you can be, right?
Yeah.
And it's a different time as well. And so attitudes are different, right? And all those things I think play into what we're seeing. And so this was tough for me because I do love Miyagi. And I think Miyagi is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that Jackie Chan did a heck of a job playing Han, and I thought that like the fact that that car scene is the best scene in the movie, not only shows how great an actor he is, but that really if you give him more freedom or more screen time, like he's kind of driving the emotional core of this, right? Whereas Miyagi is there at the heart of it, but it's more like a Miyagi and Daniel's son, right? Like their relationship is kind of at the core of it, which is what hurts the newer one, because they clearly want Jaden to carry things.
Yeah, right? But it doesn't work.
And it doesn't work because he can't. It's just not meant for him. Like, I do feel bad for the kid, right? Like, I see like what he's done later and like as an adult, and we could probably go on to a long tirade about that. Like, I think that the burden and pressure that was put on him to like succeed and be the next Will Smith, like, kind of broke him.
I mean, yeah, he's 12.
Yeah, and so I think, honestly, I think I'm gonna go Han in this one.
You've definitely swayed me.
Oh yeah, he hasn't even got to answer yet. We started with you.
Yeah. Well, put one down for Han.
I'll put one down. Wasn't expecting that one. I'll be honest.
You finished, man. Like, go ahead.
Well, the thing is, now I'm rethinking a lot of it.
Do you need a second?
I might need a second. Yeah.
Okay.
Come back to me.
So I'm gonna build off of what you're saying, because I think you have a really good point with the tradition idea that they were portraying and why it works so well in the original, because it's flipped, right? So in the remake, they go to it is China. I feel like this is somewhere else. They go to China where everything's already how it is, right? In the original, it's the American kid, and Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi, is like using the old traditions from Okinawa, right? And so like he's teaching him, how to cut the trees, right? The bonsai trees, and like get peace from that, right? So like it's a flipped idea that works better, I think, in the '84 version, with Mr. Miyagi just being that mentor of like, you're in this chaotic world, and then he comes in and it's like, look, we have this old style where I come from, and I'm going to show you how to get peace from that. So my vote is for Mr. Miyagi, because I think that idea works better. But yeah, Mr. Han was a great character too. And when they announced the Legends movie and they said Jackie Chan was going to come back to play Mr. Han,
it's like they brought back the best part.
I mean, I was happy about that. I was like, all right, that's cool. I didn't want to hear anybody else being announced.
Chang's coming back.
But Chang, I'd be cool with Chang.
The bad guy.
Yeah, he can come back.
It's not an easy decision. Like, even as I was speaking, I still was kind of on the fence, right? Yeah. But I don't know. As I was like laying it out there and kind of working through my own thoughts, right, it was really hard for me to overlook just everything that Jackie Chan brought to the role and the character. Right?
So I'm going to go Han, just because, and it's not a biased thing. I am a huge Jackie Chan fan. I just kind of going off what you were saying. Like, I really felt for his character. Like, not that I didn't feel for Miyagi, right? This isn't Miyagi's character was bad. I'm not saying anything along those lines. It's just, it was very much, like Daniel got to have a mentor, to cope with like a new place, where Jaden had to have a mentor. Like he wasn't gonna survive here. I mean, he was driving his mom crazy. That's the only family he has. Racial prejudice, all this stuff, and also you clearly get right at the when the third act is about to kick off, like Joe talked about with the car scene. You finally get to see that Han needs this too.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was just really cool because it was like Miyagi did something for Daniel, and that's great. I'm not trying to tarnish that. But if Han hadn't have intervened, there's no telling what would have happened in this kid's life, right? I mean, I can't entertain the idea that Johnny Lawrence would kill Daniel LaRusso at some point. But like Chang, I mean, they were clearly willing to kill this kid. And so I really love not that he was depressed, but the sadness that it was like right in that moment where he takes him outside. Like, you know, it's one of those moments where I was like, okay, Jaden's actually doing something.
Can I add to that real quick?
Yeah.
Because like I think you like kind of struck the right nerve here. Like Miyagi is great.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to vote for him because he's static.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Where Han has an actual like
he has a
character development and story arc. Yeah. And again, Miyagi's wonderful. Like not taking anything away, it was not an easy decision to make.
Yeah.
But as a static character, like it's hard for me to give him the vote when I can give it to someone who also shouldered the burden of the movie and had real growth and development.
Yeah.
And you can see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was really intense. Like at that moment is when I started like rethinking any perception I've had of the remake movie. It's like from that scene on, I was like, wait a minute, is this gonna end better than like some of the like weaker scenes? Which we'll maybe talk about the weaker scenes, but no, it was a really cool part for me. And so from then on, I was like, oh, well, okay, now I got to finish this movie. Like I'm
You're
actually
invested.
in. And keep in mind, this was my first time watching the remake. I've never watched it till like weeks ago.
Okay.
And so I didn't have the hate when it came out. No nostalgia for either. And so at that moment, I was just like, okay, this movie's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
And because of that alone, I got to give it to Han. Because he brought me back into this movie. Because there was points where I honestly was going to check out. So 2 votes for Han.
All right, where you going?
Dang. Yeah.
It is hard.
This is probably the toughest choice.
I think so.
Because none of these characters are hated.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines. Yeah, it's much hard. There's just an inherent what's the word I'm looking like dynamicness. What's that word?
Dynamism.
Dynamy. To a character that is growing and has an arc. But there just isn't really usually for a more static character, so usually that would be a mentor, which makes it gives Han a little more texture. I guess is a good word that I like using for stories. I don't know how else to explain. Like he's just got more going on.
Yeah. So I don't want to cut you off. This might help you. So Miyagi clearly was at a place where he was okay. He just kind of carries that sadness here. Like, it will always be his past.
Yeah.
For Han, that is the last time he rebuilds and destroys that car.
Yeah.
Like, this clearly is going to be a turning point for him as well. Where Miyagi, he would have been fine if Daniel and his mom didn't even move in. Who cares? Like, I really think both these characters actually helped each other.
Yeah.
And, like, that's really cool when you do that with a mentor-student.
Yeah, that's what I was going to try to kind of get to.
Kind of like with Johnny Lawrence and Miguel.
Uh-huh.
You know?
But you're saying it was more apparent in the new one that they helped? Because I think they helped each other in the original also. Because they went through
I'm not saying they didn't.
Right.
I'm saying
it's like a clearer.
One was like it needed to happen, or their lives would have been dramatically, like they were altered in a good way.
So I think what makes that point, what gives that point a good strong argument, I guess, is what you said earlier about Mr. Han, how he just seemed kind of sad and depressed. And Mr. Miyagi was not, right? So if it's him carrying that sadness all the time, it's super. The idea that like he builds this car every year just to break it is so sad.
Yeah.
And he carries that through the whole year until it's time to break it again, where he breaks down, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna rebuild it again, but he stays sad, right? I think that little distinction there, because Mr. Miyagi is, at least outwardly, he shows more peace, right? It's just that one day he breaks down, and then the rest of the time he's cool. Yeah. So yes, I think that's a very good observation on that, and I think that's a good point to solidify that.
My argument for Miyagi there would be that at least the way I took it in that scene, was almost, I guess, a twist sort of way. Because I think it kind of recontextualizes all of how you view how Mr. Miyagi is acting. Like, it isn't necessarily a piece that he's with the entire time. It is just like the first time you see him, he is grumpy and doesn't really want Daniel to be there. I think Han plays it much better, like continually throughout every scene that he's in. But I think there is a level with Miyagi of he's carrying this really deep sorrow that is just barely slips through the cracks this one night that Daniel sees him. Which is why I like that scene a whole lot. It reminds me of the scene in Guardians 2 with Drax and Mantis when she reads his emotions, which I just love that scene already. But it reminded me a lot of that, of like, oh, this is what he's really feeling a lot of the time. He's just not showing that. Can I give points to both of them?
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, all of us have agreed that neither of them are bad.
Yeah, if this is the podcast where we try to find the good in things, we found the good in Han that I was not expecting.
We love mentors on this podcast.
I can say with full confidence the one thing that would have pushed it over for me on Miyagi's side was the Secret Love Child.
Dude, I was about to say it as a joke, and I was like, well, no, hold on, he's going to say something real. And then you said it anyways. Oh, man. Right.
Okay.
Well, that took a while, actually.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I mean, that's the, was it Harry Osborn on the Spider-Man episode?
Yeah.
I think
we're going to talk the most about.
I think we still
mentors.
took longer on Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
That was way
that
too
was my
But
fault.
at least Harry Osborn was like a thing that didn't matter. These are two of the best parts.
Is there a mom category? We will hammer that in.
A mom category?
Yeah, just waste 30 minutes talking about the mom.
Did you put in the
I
moms?
didn't put
Because
in
I
the
didn't even
moms.
mention them.
I'm making a joke. Yeah, let's not do
Yeah.
it.
All right.
Which I like the moms a lot.
Yeah.
Just moms get props. Too.
Oh, all right, man.
Yeah. All right, next category.
All right. Love interests.
Hey, man, respect, bro. Yeah.
All right, love interest.
Love interest.
Yeah.
Well, one was 12. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we gotta say. Let's wrap it up. We're done.
And it was so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think this one needs to be a
She
category.
said that. Can I touch your hair?
Yeah. Like at certain points, they try to play it as like, no, they're just being friends.
Right.
But
And then they make out in front of everybody.
Yeah. Dude, that play part was like really funny because everyone's like, "What's going on?" And like the only person that's in on it is Han, dude. That dude's like,
No, come on. You think the mom did not recognize his?
"Well, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true."
I
But,
think there's even a
But
shot
they
of her.
they
she's like,
emphasized
yeah.
Han's face though, and he was like,
Oh, he knew for sure.
like
but
"I'm
she
not
was
teaching him that. I'm teaching him kung fu.
Yeah.
I'm teaching him boy
Got that
kung
from
fu."
you.
Yeah, that's the mom right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I have to say on this subject.
Yeah, Sam,
You know where
I
I'm
don't even
going.
think this one needs
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, I love interest.
No hate,
loose.
no hate for that little girl, but it.
That was the wrong part.
No hate, but why'd you? What? No, I was kidding. All right.
She had a big old forehead too.
I mean, does anyone disagree with that vote right there? Like sweep for
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah, look,
Do you have anything else to say?
I'm still like, as a dad,
Yeah.
I'm even as a teenager, I'm like, you don't need to be dating. So like, it's already kind of weird for me.
It's funny when students of mine have brought it up because I'm like, where are you gonna go?
Right.
You guys don't have a license. Where are you gonna date? And so I get it, they're running around China, but like, I mean, your mom still had to take you to that festival.
Yeah.
Mr. Han came. What kind of date is that? Where the double dated your mom and Han? No.
How wild would it be if Legends has Han like dating his mom or they're married?
Bro,
Oh, dude.
I would love it, man.
They're
I
married.
would love it. And Chang works for him at the thing, like
Yeah.
he like
He's
trained
one of the
Chang
trainers,
after
yeah.
Jake. Yeah. Dude.
That's
If they
funny.
do that in
You're-
Legends, bro.
You're onto something there.
They do that
Yeah.
in Legends, man. Yeah. He's
This is
Jaden's
the
stepdad.
I know you guys like laugh at me for the Secret Love Child, but I have good ideas.
Bro, Jaden's stepdad is Mr. Han.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah, I gave all 4 points
Okay.
to
okay.
the original
I
one.
didn't want to cut
Um,
anyone off. If anyone has something they want to say,
No.
for me, I definitely had nothing else to say about that.
He's right.
It's just, yeah. I'm not too big on either of these characters, honestly. Yeah. Like, at the very least, there is some more character to, I can't remember her name, but girl, Abby?
I don't know.
Allie.
Allie.
Oh, Allie. I thought you were talking about the...
Just use the actress name.
I don't remember that.
Elizabeth. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's some more character there. There's only so much you can do for a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Especially one that doesn't speak very good English.
Yeah, like that's the main issue with aging them down is 12-year-olds don't have that much personality.
Her two highlights was, man, she could play that violin, and then she's secretly good at Dance Revolution. It was like, nice.
That's exactly the scene.
Are you sure a 12-year-old didn't write this?
Yeah.
Which they weren't even dancing the right parts. The computer's like, great job.
Yeah, good job. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Combo boost.
You're not even on the pads.
Yeah, combo boost. And it's just like, what?
Plus,
that's how good
and
she is.
It's not just her. Like, look at him. Like, unless he was like playing basketball or fighting, he was watching SpongeBob. Man.
Yeah, that's what I mean that for both of them.
Yeah,
even Chang. Like,
well, that's why the
racism, fighting. That's his thing.
Being 12-year-old
if he wasn't going to get into Kung Fu, he was going to get into Roblox. So
was that yet?
No.
It was Minecraft.
I was making a Roblox joke.
Too
Take
bad.
that home with you. That's a Roblox joke. I can't make fun of Minecraft now because it's cool, I guess. So Roblox.
No, you can.
You make fun of anything.
I mean, you could say Legos.
It's the internet.
And
hey,
you don't.
Legos are cool, man.
Listen,
Legos are cool.
and when you refer to it, you call it the Minecraft.
The Minecraft.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, moving on.
Okay.
I've got character dynamics in general.
Oh.
Because I think both of them have some actually interesting ones. I kind of wanted to bring this up with Han and then forgot, so I'm going to bring it up now. Yeah, him and the mom are just. I really like their character dynamic together. Like, they were an interesting pairing anytime they were together. Partially because they were some of the only adult characters. I think the only adult characters.
And you were just like...
Other than the bad teacher.
The dad and the mom from the little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't.
But even then, like, they're not really around.
Yeah.
So, like, with so few characters, there are only so many combinations.
Yeah.
And that's the only really interesting one.
Yeah.
Because
what about that teacher lady? You know, like, she was like, I'm going to stand here and watch that kid push you, and then when you push him back, I'm going to get mad at you.
Oh, that's a classic trope.
Yeah.
Classic trope.
Yeah, I really, I go.
There's a lot of
comments about that.
There's a lot of tropage in this movie.
Where you go? Someone go first. If you already know your answer, go first.
Okay, I'm gonna go then. It's 1984 because of what I just said. That there is only one interesting character.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I mean, you just took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, he gets it. Another one.
I just didn't have nothing good to say. I didn't want to come off as biased.
Yeah, it just feels like every character combination we do get in the 80s one is like really well thought out. But how would these two mesh together? From like, here's how Daniel and Johnny get together. Here's how Daniel and Allie. Here's Allie and Johnny. Here's the mom and Allie. Like, you get all of these different characters that are constantly running into each other. And it just makes for some like, every scene feels different in it.
Johnny and Kreese and Kreese and Miyagi.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if it's just because the movies at the time, but like 80s movies did a better job with that. Like,
you're not wrong.
Not all of them though.
Not all of them, but
he's not wrong.
But by 2000s, I mean, you could see these characters where like you could tell they don't interact with each other because they couldn't figure out a way that they could. Mm-hmm. And so you have these like weird moments where it's like, are those characters not allowed to talk? And now we have these jokes where like, at no point do you see a woman talk to another woman in that movie or what? Like there's reason we have these jokes now. In the 80s, they were. I mean,
what's that scale called? Where like, if a woman is on screen or in a book or something, like, is she talking about something real or is she just talking about the male protagonist?
Yeah. And so 80s movies, they do like a fun way of being a kind of, I don't know how to say this. It's just, there are more just characters to the people involved in this world that we're on board with. Yeah. And sometimes it's dramatized in an 80s movie, but it's still like nice.
I think if you could encapsulate the thing that you're talking about into one movie scene, I would say Buckaroo Banzai. Right? They're walking into that room, and then you know, we got a much younger what's his name? He was in Thor Ragnarok, the bad guy. Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum walks in and he stops and he goes, "What's with the watermelon?" And then they just like, they're like, just ignore it, and then they move on. Right? Like, they made the world bigger.
Right.
By just mentioning a watermelon.
Now you know there's watermelon in this world.
No, but it's like it's like
I'm
in a
not
room
making
full
fun
of
you,
experiments.
but
like
yeah,
they don't do that in other movies
Yeah.
movies now because like I get that you don't want like waste, right? Because everything, I mean, Chekhov's gun or whatever. Like we want to make sure that everything has a part in the
Chekhov's
whole,
watermelon.
right? Yeah, but
but
but there's just,
you can world build without making
Yes.
it meaningless.
Yeah, well, that's part of the greatness of Andor, right? We've talked about
It's a
before.
whole different thing. I was
We've-
not expecting. us
we've
to-
all
Yeah.
seen that.
Yeah.
By now you would've
but
seen
movies like The Breakfast Club, right, where
Yeah.
it all takes place in one place
Yeah.
with 5 different, like completely different characters, but like
The
the way that they're humanized, I think, is probably what does it. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is. Where you could see like, yeah, that character, that person would act like that. That person would act like that, and when they talk together, they would talk to each other how they're talking to each other.
I didn't want it to come off like I'm just being biased, but like I really enjoy how 80s movies flow and how its characters seem more thought out.
Yeah.
Where a lot of stuff nowadays feels forced, and there's a reason for that. You guys legitimately are forcing it because you don't know how could we get these two characters interact?
The art of storytelling.
And that's why we love it when two characters have a lot of chemistry together, but then they end up just hammering it into the ground to where like that's all you got, and so I don't know. My vote's for the OG.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's everyone.
What a weird
He
category.
didn't vote.
Oh, I did. I immediately.
voted.
As soon as he voted for the OG, I did too.
I think I was last.
I just said me too.
You were last.
All right. Well, action sequences. This I think is going to be a fun one.
Okay. Yeah, this is an interesting one.
Both of them go for something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you clearly have Jackie Chan's hand in the newer one.
Yeah.
The old one is not an action movie.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can see the lack of influence from people who know how to do action.
Yeah.
So based on that, I think I'm gonna go with the new one.
I think for me this is similar to what we talked about. Similar, not exactly, but similar to when we battled Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one was going the campy route and one tried to make it, But the new one did a really cool job with the choreography.
The only exception for me is the skeleton scene where they beat the snot out of him.
Yeah.
Such a great. I mean, they just beat the snot out of him.
He's like in a curtain, like.
Then Miyagi comes out.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, man. Like that's
So
a kung fu stance.
I'm gonna go
man.
new one too, just because I think the '80s movie. I know it's weird, but it's called Karate Kid. It wasn't just about the karate though; it was about like the story itself.
Yeah, they might as well call it
Yeah,
New Kid in Town.
Yeah,
It's
new
not
kid,
as catchy.
new
Unless
popular
you're the
kid.
Eagles.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go OG just because it was cool. It was cool. I mean, even Chang was like, he did such a good job that for some weird reason you think you could beat Johnny
Wait,
Lawrence.
You're going OG?
So, no, I'm not going OG.
You just said you're
Did I
going
say
OG.
OG?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to
sorry.
make sure because he's writing it down.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down.
Remake. Sorry.
Okay, where were we?
Yeah, that was one vote for.
I voted for new. He voted for new.
2 votes
Yeah,
for
2
new.
votes
Oh
for
yeah,
new.
yeah, yeah. yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so the action scenes is what we're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is the interesting one because I wouldn't say even the fight scenes were action scenes in the '84 version.
Mhm.
They were fight scenes,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like here's our action. It was just still part of the continuing story.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird one to vote for. I still like the. I'm just gonna go. I don't know if we have a separate category, but I'm gonna go off of like choreography as a whole, and I'm gonna say the '84 version because I loved everything about all the fighting
It's the crane kick.
sequences. Not even everything. Like
He likes this move.
yeah, I mean all the background characters. When the main ones are up on stage, you still see the background characters doing something. They're into it.
Yeah.
You get the little phrases thrown in from everybody, and you don't really have that in the new one.
Because
It's-
none of them like Jaden. It's his friend, the girl.
I know, but I'm saying, but Tommy and Butch, they're all like yelling stuff. When Johnny's fighting.
The other guys are yelling too, but we don't understand.
Yeah, it's in Chinese, man.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
if you put on subtitles, you're like,
oh, dude.
Oh, you roasted Jaden, dude.
Did he just say that?
Yeah. Oh!
Yeah. I still 84.
Because there's the body bag line in the remake too.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, I just can't say
it was in Mandarin, man.
Yeah, Mandarin.
Yeah, the 84 for me. I think everything was well put together. The whole tournament, you got the montage going. Yeah. I mean, it was.
Oh, you gotta have a montage.
It was perfect. There was plenty of montages in Karate Kid in '84.
Hey, you gotta have a.
That's
montage.
back when you could still montage.
Yeah.
Now montages are for TV shows.
Yeah, so this one's interesting because they both are going for very different things, like we kind of touched on.
Right.
Because one of them is trying to be an action movie and have big set pieces and big moments that are all revolving around the action. Yeah. I personally prefer the '84 one here, and I think this is just going to come down to a preference thing for me because the way they fight, like you kind of were talking about it. It's not super like coordinated or anything, but that makes it grounds it even more.
Like these are kids.
Yeah, like when they're on the beach, there's not like a bunch of flashy, I punch and then you block and then you punch. It's just like he runs at him and then gets tripped, and it's like that's just how that fight would go.
Yeah.
That they're not gonna be constantly like messing around with each other. He's not gonna kick him and he goes flying across the sand.
Like karate in the sand.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Like even if they were teenagers, I would have bought into it a little bit more in the newer one. But because he's 12 years old, it's like you just kicked him across the park. What just happened?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier. Like they would legitimately eventually kill this kid. like I don't see Johnny Lawrence doing that. I just see him like, dude, I'm just gonna make high school heck for you, right?
Yeah.
That one Chang was like, I mean, he's not gonna live to next year.
Yeah. Like, so I think that you're right. I think you're absolutely right. They would have killed him if they had the chance. Yeah. Especially when they were chasing him down the road. They jumped over all the walls. They were ready.
Clearing houses like Predator. Like, yes, they're gonna kill this kid.
They were ready. But I think
2 or 3 of those dudes were definitely not middle schoolers.
Yeah, for sure.
One of those guys like had stubble.
Are you talking on
the newer one?
Yeah, and but I think that Johnny and his crew would have accidentally killed Daniel.
Accidentally?
When they knocked him down the hill,
they would have given him. They would like crack his skull accidentally.
I've fallen down a lot of hills. You're fine. Don't be putting that on Johnny like he's gonna kill him. What is this?
I think that they were bullying him, but they could have very easily killed him.
Yeah, I mean, they did. The guys did try to stop Johnny. Be like, hey, we heard him, Johnny.
Yeah.
He has them pin him down so he can keep punching him.
Yeah, but I don't think he's ever actually killed anybody, and I don't know that he actually would.
Yeah,
Chang has killed someone.
Chang has killed one of the teachers, and that's why the new teacher lets it happen. With the bullying, she's like, I don't want to die too.
But that is one thing. That's one thing I would believe from the new one. Yeah. That Chang did that.
That dude is not. We're not doing kung fu for fun.
That fool looks.
That guy's building an army.
Yeah, he is a King variant.
If in his first scene he like looked over and he had a neck tattoo, I'd been like, yeah. Yeah, that dude has disguised himself and is back in school.
Yeah. To kill 12-year-olds.
Well, that's action sequences.
Yeah. Wait, so you went OG as well?
Yeah.
2 for 2, that's fine.
Yeah.
2 for 2, tit for tat.
All right, script and pacing. I think this is going to be.
I have large problems with this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to give it to 1984 or whatever year it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the new one is like beat for beat the same. Like
they have to credit the original writers.
I understand that they changed stuff to make it fit with modern and all that stuff. But like beat for beat, everything that happens, like him getting jumped, like them going on, like just all of it. Yeah. All of it is the same original movie. Like, and I don't know. I just can't give it to the new one because I understand it's an adaptation, right? And I'm the one who's like, when you talk about adaptation, it's good to remember that it's a different version of the original. Yeah. right? This is why when I talk about Lilo and Stitch, I like the changes they made because it's not just beat for beat. It changes it in a way that makes it tighter, right? And in the new movie, I think it fits well in live action, right? There's things that I just don't think you'll ever be able to do, even with great CGI, in live action that you could do in an animated film. In this case, like I didn't have as much of a problem with it watching it now as I did 20 years ago or whenever it was that it came out. But the fact that all the story beats are identical is hard for me to get behind because I'm like they're just phoning it in. Like this is legitimately just a vehicle to try to get Will Smith's son famous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a hard one to I think that you're going to be the best one to talk about that.
You said hard and he started laughing. I don't know that.
No, well, because he was looking at you.
Oh.
That's why I laughed. But I think you're going to be the best one to talk about that because
you don't have the same nostalgia.
Oh,
right. Because for me, I could, and maybe you could see this also, but I could also see that like, oh yeah, this is just a movie for Jaden. Like that's why they made this movie. I think I even said that after we watched it the second time. So yeah, for me, I go with 84 also.
No, I'm going.
And it was just done better because we go back to like the characters. The characters were better.
Yeah.
So you tell that same story, it's gonna come out better with the better characters.
The same things, like it is beat for beat. And this is a problem that the more we've been doing this podcast is like a really interesting and weird phenomenon with not all of these, but a lot of these remake movies is that they tend to be longer than the original and tend to be beat for beat and then just add things, which I think is really bad storytelling because you have to write a story, you have to build it from the ground up. You can't just add on top of it and expect like, oh, now it's gonna be. Yeah, that's right. Like that ruins the pacing.
Yeah.
And then like we've talked about it with the characters, the writing of them is not very good unless it's Han.
Preach.
Like it's just weak. Like I don't all of it. It's not.
If at the end of the movie it was just Han fighting Chang, just Tong and Chang. Yeah. Chang like rips.
He shows all his tattoos.
He reveals that he is in fact 30.
Rubs off
this is a legal fight.
Rubs the makeup off so you can see the teardrops on his cheek.
Yeah. And it's like get him.
Actually kills Jaden.
He kidnaps Jaden's
that's
mom.
The plot.
And that's why Han saves her. So that's why they get married.
But he like takes her up to
there's a point where they just forget Jaden's even a character.
He takes her up to a tall tower, and like as he's falling, he's like he says, "Bye, Hans."
All right, that was.
Yeah. So, 84.
Did you say yours?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
All right.
So I mean, I didn't hate the remake as much as people hated it. But that being said, once you identify that it is beat for beat the same movie, an argument can be made, then that nulls the argument out. So then you have to just look at, well, then how the characters do with the screen time and the lines and the dialogue.
Well, I guess we know where he's voting.
And so, well, no, I have to say this because I'm not coming from a place of bias.
Oh yeah, that's
so I'm confirming that you guys aren't being biased.
Legitimately, we know where you're going to vote.
Yeah, it's better scenes, and I wasn't even a Karate Kid fan, but it's better scenes.
Yeah,
it's not as much hate for the remake, right? I don't hate it. It's just
because this is something that I think that I didn't really talk about just there because yes, it is beat for beat of the original, and I think it's even worse. Because the original is so good and so incredibly well paced. Like, it held my attention the entire time. There was never a point where I looked at my watch. It's like, how much longer we got in this movie? Yeah. It is so well put together.
No, I just
remember being like, man, Kumite has really lowered their standards.
No one died, man. Like, what kind of Kumite is this?
We created this headcanon.
Everyone lived? No. But yeah, I'm gonna go OG. Just because.
Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed that out because I try to be non-biased whenever we do these battles.
I think you do. I think I give you a hard time jokingly, but I think
right. But I want
you
to.
You are
because...
like the epitome of the devil's advocate.
Yeah. So,
like, I could see in your eye. I'm like, I know he agrees with me. Like, just say that you agree.
But he's like, well, the thing about Chang is, like, he just wants to, like, he's like, he has to talk about.
He could be Johnny in a fight.
Yeah, he could be Johnny. I'm not going to vote for him, but he could be Johnny.
I think he could
be
Johnny.
Which is a bold-faced lie.
Who is the true Karate Kid?
No.
He might even be able to beat Danielson.
Chang can definitely be Danielson.
What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Crane kick my rear.
I don't even care about it. None can defend except Chang. They pull out a scroll and it has Chang on it. Like it's been foretold.
And you know what? I don't think he would beat Johnny. Because I think that like they would like face each other and then like some sort of gleam in each eye. They would be like, team up? Team up? Like overcoming language barriers. Yeah. And they would just
start going after Danny.
Daniel and Chang?
No, Johnny and Chang would just curb stomp Daniel, man.
Yeah. But Chosen blocked the crane kick. Terry Silver blocked the crane kick.
That's because he's younger, man. He's got quicker reflexes.
Didn't Axel block the crane kick from Miguel?
Yeah, none can defend my butt, dude. Much can defend. Much can defend.
I mean,
back up.
Yeah. Just don't be in front of him.
I mean, at some point he's gonna have to put that foot down. Then just tag him.
But we didn't say. They said in Cobra Kai. I think Daniel even said it was like the reason that worked is because you ran toward me. You didn't have the patience. And Johnny's like, oh, yeah, still
illegal kick.
He didn't want to admit it until the end. He's like, all right, hold on, and then anyway, that's Cobra Kai.
It was an illegal kick. It would have never flown in the Kumite.
No, Kumite, they would have been like, just kill
that's it.
Kill the loser.
That's it.
You didn't kill him?
No mercy.
No mercy.
All right, where are we at?
Yeah.
How many more characters?
Did everyone vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was an OG sweep.
That was another sweep leg.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. Music. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Bill Conti.
This is a good battle because
it's
it's James Horner versus Bill Conti.
Yeah, and I specifically remembered the music from the last time we did this episode because I remember noting that it felt like it didn't fit the movie. That is not true. I don't know what I was on about.
You talking about the original?
No, in the James Horner remake score. Sorry. I think it's good. Mm-hmm. James Horner is a good composer. He makes excellent pieces of music. But I think this is the problem we run into a lot with these remakes that feel kind of soulless, is that in order for a composer to completely shine, you got to give them something to work with.
Yeah.
And in a movie that feel beat for beat like the other movie, the best you can either do is something else that really doesn't have a whole lot of connection to this movie now, or just remake the original score, which I appreciate that he didn't do that.
Well, but the hard part is, and I'm going to add to what you're saying, is because it's called Karate Kid, you have expectations for Karate Kid. He did have to incorporate the do just a little bit.
Yeah, just
like it's there.
But it's
and
not.
So, so you're not giving him the freedom to...
Yeah, it's in a weird spot.
Yeah.
And
I agree. We've run into that several times. Like, because the remakes are, whether they're better or not, like,
they still have that legacy.
They still have to drag with them that legacy. Yeah, and that's tough. Like, that's why legitimately, just call it Kung Fu Kid. Do your own thing, right? Like,
now you got something.
And then you can tie it to Karate Kid.
Do all these different fighting styles, but with kids.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, man.
Capoeira Kid. Like, just like have Brazilian.
Yeah.
I'm in. Cinematic universe.
Yeah. The fighting.
That movie is called Only the Strong, and it was awesome.
Oh, okay. It's already...
that one does exist. Yeah. Anyway, so you're going with...
Yeah, so I'm going with Bill Conti because the pan flute is awesome, and I think he has multiple great themes. Yeah. And the other last note I want to make on James Horner is he's an excellent composer. Rest in peace. I don't think he was the right guy for this movie.
I'm just going to underline. I just agree with everything. Same vote and everything.
Yeah. I think he's the wrong guy for this movie. I think if it had been made today, I think the score actually probably would have been better because they would have gone with someone who would have experimented with it a little more.
I'm going to erase that part of the
incorporated
You had a period.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because something I appreciate about the original is it's very fun, jaunty 80s movie most of the time, and then when it gets into the Mr. Miyagi stuff, that's when he brings in the pan flute. That's when you get part. And I think we could have gotten something really cool with that, with like this combination of have most of the score be something even done by a Chinese composer that is going to incorporate a lot of that culture into the actual music, and then have, when Jaden enters the picture, a reversal of the pan flute, essentially. Add in whatever American sounds you want to. It would be hip-hop because he's black. That's just how Hollywood would do it.
Which they did put a lot of that.
You can tell, you can make that face, but I'm not.
No, I'm making that face because I can't say that stuff. So it's cool that you can.
He got a bandana, so
he can
say it. That is not what I meant.
You'll just always be cooler than me.
That's his Cheech and Chong moment, man.
I'm not saying it's good, but it was what would happen.
It's what.
You had me at pan flute, and then
so
I was like, pan flute with the Asians, and then.
So anyone else?
I already voted.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. The same thing. The only thing I was going to bring up is the change in Bill Conti when Mr. Miyagi was brought in, and then the music
changes.
Everything changed.
The music
that was
cues
awesome.
Like, oh, this guy's important and different.
Yeah. So Bill Conti is. I mean, I love Bill Conti stuff. So
this and Rocky is just great.
Yeah.
I mean, just scores alone. Like I didn't even care for the new one. Like, I mean, I don't know if that makes it bad. It's just pointless at that point. Like, if I can't identify it or care about it, then it was like, and you kind of defended him. Like, he was having to do it off of a movie that he was either constricted or, I mean, they didn't give him enough to where,
Yeah.
But it's not memorable. And then that being said, we even get outside of scores and talk about, like, what's the most fun about 80s movies is the song, like, actual songs that's implemented. They kill it there, too.
Yeah.
The new one, I hate the real songs that they throw into it. It doesn't fit the movie. Like, was it Justin Bieber and whatever? Like, it was that kind of sound. Like, I don't know the songs, but there was a couple of songs
I specifically remember, because I had to Google it. Poker Face is in the song? Or
is that what they danced to at the dance game?
And this movie came out the year after that song came out, which gives me, like, I know for a fact now that it is in there because it is the song that was popular at the time. There's no other reason that song was in the movie.
Cultural relevance.
Those songs didn't fit. I mean, you kind of talked about it. Like, if you're in China and it doesn't feel like China, then it's like, well, then why'd we go with that music? Like, it just doesn't.
Well, I think the idea was that, and it might even be different where you watch the movie, but I think the idea is, like, whenever a outside of American culture is shown in a movie, they're always playing the pop music of America. So the Lady Gagas, the Dua Lipas,
and he kind of already said it, and we kind of laughed, but he's right. Like, pop music doesn't fit Jaden's character.
No, but he did have, like, the rap songs.
When?
Yeah, he did like his little robot.
Would they put one token
that
song
thing that
in
goes
and
way
it was like
too long?
Yeah, they put one token song in and be like, there you go.
No,
like,
he had a couple of them.
I don't know. I didn't like any of the choices.
But I didn't like them either. I don't even remember what songs they were because it just didn't work with the movie.
It was not the best around.
What? Say that again.
Say that again.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah. What are we doing next? Because we all voted at 84 on that one.
Yeah, we got one more category.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're actually
surprise
making great time.
Best director.
Directing cinematography.
John G. Alvinson all the way.
Yeah, original.
Why
is this even on here?
Because I want to praise the original.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I don't have anything really to say either. Like, I'm gonna go OG, and again, this isn't a place of bias because I didn't even care about either of these.
80s movies are just better.
They really are, and I feel like that is my bias. Even though I wasn't even like alive in the 80s, I just like that was my bread and butter for a couple of years. Right, is the 80s movies, and it's kind of funny. I see it now with Piper. like then you're never not wanting to show something you liked as a kid to your kid. And so I'm totally fine that my parents showed me all these movies, but yeah, I have nothing. I don't know, like it's 80s for me. So
yeah. I mean,
I have nothing cool to say. I just want to get out of the way.
Just putting everything together that we've talked about. That was John G's directing there. Like these characters are gonna be fleshed out. This scene's going here and here and here and here. Yeah. This is how I want to tell the story, and I mean, he did a great job. Yeah. And he did Rocky, the first Rocky, I think, or the second Rocky.
I think it's the first one.
The first one, which I mean, arguably the best Rocky movie.
Is that arguable? Pretty sure it's agreed that it's the best.
Well, no, there's some weird people that bring up weird arguments, but about
Rocky
some of the other ones
is probably a contender.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mr. T and
Mr.
T and Hogan. Come on,
that's a fun movie. That's what I'm saying. Arguably, like I think the best storytelling was Rocky 1. That's my opinion. Best storytelling was Rocky 1.
My favorite's Creed.
Nah, hands down, Rocky 4. Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn, yeah.
Rocky.
That's 5.
Oh, is that 5?
Yeah,
that's how much I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 4 is Drago, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Because 3 is
Mr. T,
or T, and
2 is
2's the rematch. Yeah. Super Fight 2.
Super Fight 2. Yeah. Well,
I'm a Rocky fan.
No, I'm not looking at you.
What's
like,
the score?
What are you doing? I'm like, yeah. I have nothing to say to this. I like the OG one, and that's my reason.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to praise the camera work real quick, because that's something that I did not remember going into this movie, and I thought was like really impressive when I was actually paying attention to it, because it's such a subtle directing style. Like the scene that I think about the most is with Daniel and his mom in the restaurant right after he goes and meets Cobra Kai for the first time.
Yeah.
And you just see them through the window. It's one long shot of their conversation. You see them pop on screen, mess around with each other outside, see Daniel, and then run away, all while this conversation is happening. So you're never distracted from them or the conversation. You're taking in all of this information at the same time without major cuts between these two things happening. Yeah. It's just really well done and put together.
The only problem I have with that scene is that you're led to think that they're waiting for Daniel, and it's daytime, and then the next scene after the mom leaves, I gotta go do work or whatever. He's like, all right, cool, I'll see you at home. The next scene, it's dark, and that's when he's riding his bike.
Yeah, how long was he in there?
So like, how long was he in there? How long were they just waiting for him?
One more piece of pie there? He's just like living in there. Eventually they gotta go pee, and then I'll run.
Yeah.
He's just like talking to the way, like, I just don't like being home alone.
Yeah. There's an extended cut out there.
Yeah, and then Johnny and the guys are just sitting, still in there. Like you see them through the window,
flicking a spoon around, just putting packets of stuff in his water. Like he's just, because there's no cell phones, right? So he's doing crap like that you do in
reading the packages.
Yeah, reading the ketchup bottle.
I still need a minute. Just stalling. Like.
So yeah, it's just stuff like that. Yeah. I appreciate. I like that. I like that movie a lot.
For sure. Yeah.
So the score is 5 points for 2010's Kung Fu Kid.
That's respectable.
Hey, 5 points.
It's been worse.
Yeah. And I stopped counting for the 80s.
After what?
Hold on.
After 6.
After 27.
After 20. All right. I like to still know.
Yeah.
That way I can kind of.
You can text it to him later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the Karate Kid reboot battle. Again, the 1984 version wins.
None can defend.
None can defend if done right, and they done right.
Yeah. As TallBeing would say, a near perfect movie.
Yeah. And I stand by that.
Yeah,
that's also a wild take.
It's up there with Encino Man. It's like pure perfection, dude.
Encino Man is great.
Encino Man is a great movie.
Dude.
Oh man,
it's a work of art.
I own Encino Man also.
Bro, I want that is. We need to do an episode where we just do our top 10 movies and
Well, thank you guys for checking us out. Like I said, like, subscribe, and follow, and all that stuff. But most of all, let us know your thoughts. We want to talk about this some more. We obviously have some disagreements on Shang-Johnny.
Yeah.
So,
and we love fan engagement.
Do we know what we're doing next month?
Next month is gonna be
Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Henry Cavill. David Cornsweet.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's gonna be good then. Superman Next Battle. Thank you guys for checking us out. We'll catch you next time. Follow us on the socials. The Room Upstairs Podcast. Whatever social you're on, look us up. If you find us, then we're on there also. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, leave a comment. Your favorite one, was it the 84? Was it the 2010?
Yeah, more Kung Fu? Or?
Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah.
Any of the categories? Let us know what you guys think.
Johnny Lawrence versus Chang.
Who wins?
Who wins that one?
Yeah.
Let me know how badly Chang beats up Johnny Lawrence.
That's fandom for you.
Well, no, just have them filming the whole time.
I mean, I guess we could use this one too.
And then you can edit. What? So we can go color. I just saw my color. That was weird, dude.
I know.
My hat's red. What the heck? No,
So I called you a crip when I walked in, remember?